Good evening, friends and family, faculty and staff, and administration. First, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight for such an important occasion. While skimming through resources on how to write an effective speech, I came across a quote by Orson Swett Martin. Success is not measured by what you accomplish, but by the opposition you have encountered and the courage with which you have maintained the struggle against overwhelming odds. I believe this perfectly illustrates nursing school. We started this journey through nursing school on different levels. Some of us had prior education or experience in the medical field. Others were just getting started or needed a fresh start. We gained some classmates, and fortunately we lost some too. But we all started up this path with the same goal, to become licensed practical nurses. We learned to perform countless skills, like how to insert a urinary catheter, how to change one's dressing, and even how to properly wash our hands. We also relearned our ABCs. There's no more apple, ball, or cat. It's airway, breathing, circulation. Most importantly, we learned how to become caring and compassionate nurses. We owe a great deal of thanks to our instructors. Mrs. Oakes and Mrs. Tuma, you helped us build a fantastic foundation to start off nursing school. Ms. Lewis and Dr. Willis, you helped solidify our knowledge and skills and molded that foundation into nurse material. Mrs. Oakes, you always told us that you were giving us pearls of wisdom, and it was up to us to string them into a necklace. Well, the necklace will never be complete as we continue to learn throughout our careers. But I know we've all taken those pearls of wisdom, and we will have a beautiful necklace to wear in our first jobs as LPNs, and we will wear them proudly. We also owe many thanks to our families and friends who coped with us for the past 15 months. You put up with the bad news, the tears, and the anxieties, and gave us the courage and support to continue on through school. I suppose a standing apology should also be offered as well, because let's face it, meals with us will never be the same. Fellow classmates, we have come a long way. Throughout nursing school, we've dealt with sweat, tears, urinary frequency, inefficient breathing patterns, vomiting, and that was just us. Yet no one said this would be easy, and they were right. In fact, nursing school is one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it was also one of the most rewarding things. I chose nursing school because I want to help people. I want to do everything I can to help them recover. And if that isn't possible, I can at least make them comfortable. Nursing is a profession where you really do make a difference every day you go into work. How many people can say that? There's a lot about our jobs that, let's face it, is just plain gross. No, it's not glamorous to clean bedpans or wipe up vomit, but we do it with grace, and we do it while maintaining our patient's dignity. Every task we do is important, just as every patient is important. As I look back on this past year and a half, I remember every patient I ever cared for during clinicals. Whether I was inserting their catheter or trying to save their life, each of them mattered to me, even when I played no active role whatsoever in their care. Like that 1 hour that I skipped my lunch hour to watch a baby being born. Aww. We as nurses, we get to be there for moments like that. We are there as life comes into the world, when life hangs in the balance, when life comes to an end, and everything in between. It truly is awe-inspiring when you step back from the tests and grades and think about that. Through clinicals, we all had moments that changed us. Pivotal moments where not only we touched the lives, but also reminded us why we are doing this in the first place. One such time for me was when a patient coded. We all gathered around in the hallway, flat against the wall. Once they got everything situated in the room, one of the nurse managers asked if anybody could do the ambu bed to breathe for the patient. One of my classmates who had been working with the patient was already in the room doing compressions. I gowned up, I went in, and was told what to do. I squeezed in by the top of the bed in the limited space and breathed for her. It felt exhilarating to play such an active role, to literally be the breath for someone. It was in that moment that I realized, yes, I really can do this. After 20 or 25 minutes of working on the patient, we did get her back. There was all the adrenaline in my body, it only felt like 5. Even though the prognosis wasn't good, it allowed her family enough time to say goodbye. I can still see the patient's face in my head. I learned, as I know you all have too, that coding is nothing like they show on TV. It's so much messier, so much more crowded, and there's so many people rushing in and even spilling out of the room. But that's when all of our training kicks in, when we come together as a team and we make a difference in someone's life. I know you all have similar stories and memories. So, after all we've been through, I'm here to tell you, we finally made it. We have successfully concluded one arduous chapter of our life. After 15 months of sleepless nights followed by early mornings, 15 months of never-ending tests where all the answers were correct, but we had to decide which one was most correct. 15 months of what seemed like an endless mountain of drug cards, piled on top of those weekly tests. Yes, we made it. Tonight represents the end of one chapter in our lives, but it also represents the exhilarating beginning of the next chapter, the one where we finally become nurses. Congratulations, class of 2015.